We are live here on our simulcast of we're Facebook, we're Instagram. And welcome. It is our Thursday chat. So today we are going to do something a little bit different. I have it on my Facebook, but for Instagram people, I'm going to talk about 3 things that have nothing to do with exercise that you can start doing right now to lose your first 10 pounds. If you have a question for me during this live, I am actually going to take questions via text messages. So you can text 203-633-8440. And I will actually have my phone right here, my hand on the phone, and I will actually answer your text questions live. I should probably get out of Instagram, huh? All right. Well, I have my text phone. All right. So if you are just joining me and you are wondering what we are talking about and who I am, my name is Mubaraka Ibrahim. And if you are here, I am your health and happiness coach. And if you believe that physical, mental, and spiritual well-being is intertwined, and the weakness of one weakens them all, and the strengthening of one strengthens them all, then welcome. You have found your tribe. I'm going to actually ask you a question. I want to make sure that you can hear me well because I have my air conditioner on and I want to make sure it's not giving all kind of extra humming in the background. So, Instagram, can you hear me without my air conditioner? And I need to know that from my Facebook people too. Can you hear me without the air conditioner on? All right, good. Because I don't want to turn it off because it's hot. Okay. It is a hot day today in Connecticut. All right. So, what are the 3 things that you can do, like really start doing right now? Because I get this question a lot, right? The most common question that I get is not about, how is it that I can take my fitness to the next level? Or what is the things that I can do in order to run a marathon? I normally get questions like, how do I get started? There's so many different health and wellness plans out there, different types of diet, different types of exercise. And most people want to know, like, where do I just get started? Like, I know I want to lose weight. I know I need to lose weight for my health, but I don't know exactly where to start. Well, if you are at that point, I want you to stay with me. We're not going to be here long, 30 minutes max. I'm going to give myself a time limit because you know I have a gift for gab and I talk. But I'm going to give myself a time limit today. And I'm going to tell you some of the simple things that you can do. So the most important part that I want you to take away from everything that I say today is consistency is the key. Right? You have to consistently do these things. I want you to commit now that if you aren't doing these things, that you're going to do them for 40 consecutive days. Literally get a piece of paper and write it down for 40 consecutive days. We know this because we have this saying all the time that says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But what we don't realize, many people, is that saying is not about the apple, right? That saying is about consistency. Right? It's not that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, because if you ate 7 apples on Sunday and then didn't eat any fruits and vegetables for the rest of the week, it's not going to have the same effect that if you ate 1 apple every single day. That is a metaphor. So remember, that saying is a metaphor for consistency, right? So really important. So the first thing that you can do to start losing weight that has nothing to do with exercise is actually go to sleep. Yes, sleep is going to directly affect your weight loss results. Sleep actually directly affects your health. People who do not get enough sleep, here's a lot of things that can go wrong. It throws off your hormonal balance. That means when people are sleep deprived, research shows that their cortisol level is higher. So you're going to be more stressed. That's one of the reasons why people who are tired, babies included, but we know adults do it too, they get really cranky when they don't get enough sleep, right? They're like super cranky because we're extra stressed. Our fight or flight hormones are going crazy because we're really tired. So Here's things that research shows that affects you when you don't get enough sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, your cortisol levels are higher, which means your stress level is higher. People who don't get enough sleep, they actually have done research studies where they intentionally sleep deprive people for 3 to 4 days, and they found these otherwise healthy people to have glucose levels at the level of somebody who is diabetic after 3 days, right, of not getting enough sleep. So sacrificing sleep is actually not the best way for you to get healthy, right? You want to make sure if you decide, hey, I'm going to start this new fitness routine and I'm working out every morning at 5 a.m., you know what? You're going to need to go to bed earlier. You cannot go to bed at midnight and then say, I'm waking up so I can be at the gym at 5 a.m. and you're getting up at 4:30 and you only have 4 hours of sleep. If you're going to commit to an early morning routine, you must first commit to going to bed earlier. Super important. When people don't get enough sleep, it actually disrupts your gut biome. We know that 70% of both our immune system is inside of our gut, meaning inside of your intestines, inside of the probiotics and prebiotics inside of your stomach. But we also know that the gut biome actually helps to tell our body whether or not we need to store this calorie as fat or if we need to burn it as fuel. They have actually identified specific probiotics that help your body to break down food and determine whether or not it's going to be stored as fat. They looked at twins. There's one research study where they actually looked at twins and they found one twin was a healthy weight, the other twin was obese, and they looked at the gut biome and they had two very different gut biomes. Now, we know that our gut biome is related to a lot of different processes in our body. That's why your gut is called your second brain, right? This research has led to this term that you may hear as your gut being your second brain because it makes a lot of decisions. And so another thing that sleep does is that it throws off your gut biome and it makes you actually store more food as fat as opposed to burn it. So that means literally eating the exact same thing, you will store more of it rather than burn it. So really important that's another effect that sleep has on your weight. The third effect that sleep has on your weight is that we know that people who do not get enough sleep, they actually have a lower amount of willpower, and it's because the ghrelin levels, which is your hunger hormone, is not satisfied. Your ghrelin levels actually stay high. So when you don't get enough sleep, you will eat more the next day. Even if you think you're eating healthy, whatever it is that you're eating, you actually will eat more. This is what the research tells us, because your ghrelin level, which is a hormone, throws off whether or not it tells you that you're hungry even when you're not. So when people are like, oh, you know what? I just crave all day long. I have to have a snack every 2 hours. 9 times out of 10, when I dig a little deeper and find out how much they're sleeping, the quality of their sleep, it is all connected. So sleep. What amount of sleep do you need, right? You need 7 to 10 hours of sleep a night. And as women, I know we're like, oh my God, who actually has the ability to sleep for a whole 10 hours? So this is crazy, because when they look at research and see like what amount do women need versus men need in order for them to be completely restored, rested, hormones rebalanced throughout the sleep process, women need more sleep than men. And I know it sounds so counterintuitive because we are generally the ones that actually get the least amount of sleep, right? If you're in childbearing years or you have a little one, you're not getting a lot of sleep right now, right? But that's why it's so important for you to create a schedule for yourself and a schedule for your kids. That's a whole other different live. We can talk about that later. I have 4 kids who are now grown adults. And so I'll give some tips on that on another live. We'll do one just for moms, right? So it's for women, we actually need more sleep than men. And and I swear this is science. I am not going on a feminist rant. This is the reason why women need more sleep. Women need more sleep because we use more brain cells. I know it sounds crazy, but this has always fascinated me. So one of the things that happens when we sleep is our brain actually detoxifies itself and it gets rid of all of the additional proteins that it developed throughout the day, really working hard. So think of it sort of kind of like, not a bad thing, this happens with everyone, is your brain can't do too many things at one time. It can't work and clean up at the exact same time, right? Sort of like our bodies, right? So as it's functioning during the day, it's actually building up toxins. And those toxins, when your brain is at rest at night, your brain is literally cleaning those toxins out. Another reason why sleep is important. What happens for women is we use more brain cells doing the exact same activity. They have literally done research where they hooked up electrodes to people's head, to men's head and women's head. And they took, the little game that we often buy for kids. It's like a square hole and you put a square block in it, and it's a circle hole and you put a circle block. So it's a really simple task, right? You just take the block and you put it in the hole. So they did it and they watched the way women brain work when they had to do the simple task. And then they watched the way that men brain work when they had to do the simple task. And when men did it, one section of their brain lit up, right? This is a simple task. You don't have to think about a lot of things. So one section of the brain lit up. Doing the exact same task, women, multiple sections of the brain lit up. Like we're like trying to figure out a whole bunch. Maybe we just naturally overthink stuff. I don't know. Either way. And because of this additional use of the brain, researchers theorize that this is one of the reasons why women actually need more sleep than men. So all of those dads out there, you need to take a bedtime day so that your wife can go to bed earlier. Be like, hey, 2 days a week, I'll bathe the kids and put them to bed. You go ahead and take an early night off, right? Really important. It's going to help your wife with her brain health, help her with her health goals. So important. So those are 4 things I think I mentioned why sleep is super important. Sleep is super important. Has nothing to do with exercise, but it directly affects your weight loss. The next thing that I want to get you to do, so the first thing, remember I said we're going to commit to 40 days. I want you to add, if you know you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep, I want you to figure out your schedule and figure out how can I get at least 7 hours of sleep every single night. Set an alarm on your phone, like literally set a sleep alarm on your phone. To make sure that you are getting enough hours of sleep. Now, as Muslims, one of the things that I would recommend is figure out what time you want to wake up for Fajr and then count backwards and figure out what time you need to go to bed. And that is actually going to give you a good schedule so that you can have everything inside of a way that fits inside of your lifestyle. The next thing that I want to mention to you, which is going to help you that has nothing to do with exercise, is drinking water. I know I say this all the time, but people don't listen. You got to drink water, people. You got to drink water. Water is super important for several reasons. We know water is what is going to help you to actually move and function better. That's one of the uncommon things that people actually don't consider when it comes to water. I actually was just telling a client the other day about how important water is when you're exercising and to prevent you from being sore or staying sore long. Think about after you finish your workout, if you are working out, your muscles are super stiff or are super sore because the buildup of lactic acid. Water is literally washing and diluting that lactic acid that is going to decrease your soreness. If you feel stiff, say you don't exercise because you know what, I already just feel stiff and it's hard for me to move. Increase your water and it will decrease your stiffness, right? Those muscles need to be hydrated in order for them to move properly. So drinking water. In addition to that, research shows that when you drink water, it actually boosts your metabolism for up to 2 hours. So you literally can get extra fat burn simply by drinking water. Super important for you to do that. Another reason why water is really important is it is going to make sure that you are hydrated and you actually are able to absorb all of the nutrients in the food that you're eating. So if you decide, hey, I'm going to start eating healthy and I'm going to have a healthy lifestyle, I'm eating lots of veggies, I'm eating a lot of great protein, but you're not drinking enough. Water is like the super highway of the nutrients that go inside of your body. They help your nutrients get from one place to another. So if you are super dehydrated, your blood literally thickens and slows down. So you're not getting the nutrients where they need to be. Drink water. How much? I think I've been posting this every week because people don't drink enough water. Half your body weight in pounds and ounces of water every single day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water every day, right? 200 pounds, 100 ounces. Everybody doesn't need to drink a gallon of water a day. I know that's like a social media trend. People walking around with the big bottles. Oh, and I drink a gallon of water a day. No, everybody does not need to drink a gallon of water a day. Drink appropriate to your size. Does that mean when you lose weight, then you will be drinking less water? Yeah, that's exactly what it means. In order for you, so here's a little side note. People always say, well, I'm going to have to pee a lot if I go drink a lot of water. One of the reasons why people have to go to the bathroom often when they're up their water intake, part of the reason is obviously if you're not used to drinking water, then your kidneys has to get used to holding that amount of water. But another reason that people do have to go to the bathroom a lot is because they drink too much at one time, right? We literally do not have the ability to absorb 32 ounces of water in 10 minutes. We don't, physiologically, your body. So think of all the things that happens to water when you go in, right? When you drink it. When you drink water, your water is taking all of your nutrients to where they need to go. Your water is being absorbed by your organs. It's being absorbed by your muscles. These are all of the functions that happens when you drink water. Well, even though your body needs water to do all of those things, it only can do a certain amount in an hour. So when they actually studied how much water does the human body absorb in an hour, they actually looked at ultra marathon runners. And I'm not an ultra marathon runner. I'm assuming that most of you probably are not ultra marathon runners, but even in ultra marathon runners, during their race, like literally they did the research with them running, they could only absorb at max 20 ounces of water in an hour, at max. So you and I should not be sitting around trying to drink 32 ounce container in 10 minutes, right? You have to spread it out so that not only do you drink it, because you can drink a lot of water and it actually not be hydrating you. It's not going to hydrate you because your body literally doesn't have the ability and the time to absorb that amount of water. So in order for you to drink water and for it actually to hydrate you, it needs to be around 18. If you're super hot and you're running a marathon, 20 ounces each hour, right? So know the 8 ounces. So someone on Instagram, Fit Sisters on Instagram asked, so not just 8 glasses. I know we hear that a lot, right? Everybody needs to drink 8 ounce glasses a day. No, there's actually no actual research around that. It was really funny because there's a show here in the United States called 60 Minutes, and they actually did a little segment where they went to doctors, dietitians, nurses, all different type of health professionals, and they asked them, like, where did you get that from? And they literally asked them, like, where did 64 ounces of water a day come from? And they were like, somebody told me that. I was told that in class. I was told that during my study. Like, there's no, like, somebody said it. And then that's one of those, telephone myths. Have you ever played when you were little? We used to play this game. Well, in school, they showed us, like, why you shouldn't start rumors, because everybody stands in line. You whisper in one person's ear, that person whispers in the next person, and that person whispers in the next. By the time it gets to the 10th person, it's completely different than what the first person said. Yeah, that's like one of those telephone rumors. There's no research around that. But half your body weight in ounces of water actually comes from a researcher and a doctor. He was German, and I will be honest, I cannot pronounce his name, but he wrote a book called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. It's on Amazon. You can go Google, right? He talks about why this is this should be the standard for people to determine. And it just makes common sense, right? Somebody who's 300 pounds don't eat the same amount of food as somebody that's 120 pounds. So why would they need the same amount of water, right? It's just sort of kind of like common sense. All right, so that's where that comes from. Sleep. I'm talking about 3 things that you can do to lose your first 10 pounds without exercise, right? Sleep, we talked about that. If you missed that part, then when we're done, you can go back and watch the video. We talked about why drinking water is super important. And the third thing that I'm going to say has nothing to do with diet or exercise. Keep a journal. Keep a journal. You should be keeping a fitness and nutrition journal if your goal is to improve any part of your health. If your goal is to lose weight, you should be keeping a fitness and nutrition journal. If your goal is to reverse your diabetes, you should be keeping a fitness and nutrition journal. If your goal is to improve your gut health, then you should be keeping a fitness and nutrition journal. If you are not waking up in the morning and saying, I am at optimum health and I don't have anything that I have any particular goal with about my health. I mean, even if you do that, you want to maintain your health, you probably should be keeping a fitness and nutrition journal. But you have to write it down. That is so important. Writing down, and not on the computer. And I know that we have apps, and I actually recommend them for some things. If you're tracking your macronutrients, if you want to plan your meal plan, those can be really helpful. But I really think that people need to start writing again, like literally get a pen and a paper and write it down. We know that when it comes to retaining information, right? They actually looked at how effective is writing notes on a computer versus writing notes inside of a notebook. And they found that people who actually physically write notes down, they actually retain more of the information because you are using several senses when you are writing, right? You're literally in your brain, you're spelling out the words, you're physically touching the pen, you're reading as you are writing. All of these things reinforce what you're doing. So journaling is important in general, but when it comes to your weight loss journey, having an actual thing that you can read, right? So not that you can actually read and you can refer back to is really important. Write down where you are. Write down what your goal is. It's going to do several things. Number one, it's going to hold you accountable to yourself, right? My goal is to lose 30 pounds. Then that is what you are telling yourself. That is what you are committing to yourself. You are physically writing it down, right? Write down that goal. You know how particularly for Muslims, right? For us as Muslims, right? Every action is judged by its intention, right? Start off with literally having the intention. We tend too often to think that we can't ask Allah for the things that we want in this world just because we want it. Like, when was the last time you literally made dua to lose weight? Probably ain't come to you. It probably didn't even come to you, did it? Like, literally make dua, right? Make the intention. And then when you make the intention, you put the action behind it. Super important. So write down your commitment of what you're going to do. And then also write down, like, hey, my goal is I'm going to be drinking, I want to drink 100 ounces of water a day. Today is Thursday, and I've drunk 56 ounces of water a day, right? And you're keeping up. Any goal that you have, if you can't measure it, it's not a goal, it's a dream. You have to be able to measure it. So I say that because people will often say, well, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? Oh, I don't know. I just want to feel good about my body. Okay. What was the physical number that you saw on the scale the last time you felt good about your body? You must attach a number to that. If a number is not attached to it, attach a clothes size to that. If a clothes size is not attached to it, attach how fast you can run, how many push-ups you can do, all of the different ways in which you can physically and quantitatively measure your progress towards your goal, right? So journal, journal, journal. Write in it every day. If you can't write it in every day, then take 2 days a week where you're going to sit down for 30 minutes and you're going to write how your journey is going, what you've been doing, and what your next goal and steps are. Super, super important. When I do one-on-one with clients, I don't let them get off the phone with me each week until we have identified exactly the measurable thing that they're going to do that week in order to help get to their goal. So, all right, I gave you a fitness routine. All right, you're exercising and you plan on doing these exercises 4 days this week. I want to know what 4 days. I want to know what time. I want to know you're committing to that on a weekly basis. So those are 3 things that if you implement them in the next 40 days, I believe in focusing on whatever new task or goal or habit that you have for 40 consecutive days. If you are implementing them for the next 40 days, you will start taking your first steps to lose your first 10 pounds, or maybe your next 10 pounds. Maybe you're at a stall and you don't understand why, and these things can help you take it to the next level. Really, really important. Make sure that you come back to me in 40 days and say, hey, I've done this for 40 days and I'd love to hear what your results are. So you can save this video and just put a little reminder on your phone and say, hey, I'm going to go back in 40 days. I'm going to do what she said just to see if it's working. It's going to work. It's going to work. I'm confident. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I've got degrees, certifications, experience. I'm confident. You got this. I'm confident in you. All right. So until next Thursday, make sure that you put on your notifications. Make sure you follow, make sure you like, make sure you share, because I am here giving you health and wellness tips every Thursday. I go live. If you have questions between now and then, go ahead and shoot me a DM and I will, if I can't answer it in a few sentences in the DM, then I will try to answer it on a live or through a video. All right. Until next week. Weekend is coming. Make sure you do something that is going to get you to sweat, because in general, when we talk about having a healthy lifestyle, there are some simple rules, right? Make sure you sweat every day. Lift something heavy most days and eat lots of greens. Apply that, you're on your way. All right. Talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum.